Hi, this is Rick Harvey, the Creative Warrior, and I'm here to share another part about mindful awareness. I want to spread it out through the Dreamsmithing and Creative Warriors curriculum. And I wanted to give you an example of somebody who has been doing mindful awareness practices for pretty much his entire life. He started when he was 9, maybe between 9 and 11, just out of curiosity. He discovered it, and he's going to talk about discovering it. And what I love about Martine is that he has a curiosity. He's very observant. He has wonderful intention, and he has a strong sense of service, something I relate to on all different levels. And he is a world-renowned composer and international um, cultural educator. He is an expert in native cultures in the area that we now call Mexico or Mexico. And so he builds instruments from there. You'll see all these things as you watch the different conversation parts. There are 5 total, and enjoy this when you get to the end. Please stop by your quick writes and add in 1 to 3 things that you learn from this conversation that you could benefit from adding to your life. You could add to your quality of life by doing these things that Martine shares about. Thank you so much. Hi, this is Richard Harvey, the Creative Warrior, and I'm here to introduce my awesome friend, Martin Espino. I'm to talk with him today about how mindful awareness has influenced him. I will tell everybody that we have collaborated on creative projects, and that's how we initially met. And it's been a great experience for me, and I've learned a lot. So I'm hoping that you'll get a chance to learn how he's grown through mindful awareness. Want to get us started, Martine?
Yeah, good afternoon, and hello, everybody. I'm basically a musician, so I play live and play online. I'm an educator. I call myself a cultural educator because there's so much missing that's just not with the music. It's you have to add. You can't talk about the music without talking about the culture and the history and geography and the language and the foods, and it gets all that, especially when you have time, like when I do residencies in schools and stuff. And so that's part of the educational thing I do with adults and kids.
You said you're a cultural educator. Can you tell a little bit about what cultures you help people learn about, please?
Well, the one I know about is Native American. I teach particularly about my culture, which is ancient Mexico, and so many of the things that we do that now come from those times. Even the foods, um, yeah, there's a lot of beautiful things and a lot of funny things, and a lot of sad stuff too. Oh God. So I hope I answered that one right. Yeah. So I had to include a lot of things. One of the reasons to answer that even better, Richard, is that when I'm in schools, um, I've learned to cover everything. Because they're not covering it really, or they do cover it, but then just a few of them are doing it. There's places where they don't cover it at all. You know, I mean, it meaning a whole lot of things about cultures.
Let me bring us back to mindful awareness and how you got into it, because you're doing this wonderful work now, and you don't mind sharing about your childhood a little bit. How did you find mindful awareness?
Well, number one,
Why did you gravitate towards it?
I knew when I was 11. I'll start when I was 11. I was going to. This is funny because I know you know this. I was in Catholic school, so I'd get out at 3 o'clock and I'd come home and make it just in time to watch this weird show where it was like all dark and there was a lady sitting with her legs crossed and she had her hands like this and she was going Yanaki. To this day, I still never looked up what that word means. Yanaki. That's weird. But I liked strange things or things out of the ordinary, so I was obviously attracted to it because I was already watching science fiction and strange B movies from the 50s because my brother got me into it.
Mhm.
Which later on I found out just recently that it was my mom that got him into it, and got me into it. So that's really important to me. Because one of she dug that stuff, and it was all the way from the strange sounds, the sine waves, and the white noise that the spaceships made, and all that stuff like that. And so when I saw somebody sitting down chanting, I thought, this is not too much different than what I've seen already on the Outer Limits, and Twilight Zone, all this, the moods, the different kind of mood it was. And this show, they never, to what I remember, they never explained anything about what they were doing. It was some kind of a yoga meditation show. And I remembered a voice over the screen going, relax your feet. And this is what based all my meditations on. Relax your toes, relax your feet. Constantly breathe. Breathe in and out through your nose. Relax your legs, relax your thighs, relax your stomach. Relax your heart and your lungs and slow your breathing down. Doesn't that sound like meditation? And they never explained why. They just were saying that. And then they would go all the way to, when I do it live, I say, let it go from your heart to your mouth, not from your heart to your head, because your head might go, wow, I'm kind of embarrassed sitting here looking. Is anybody looking at me? I say, let it go from your heart and let it go straight to your mouth. And then exhale all that and relax. And that's how I do that. And I used to watch that show all the time. And I found myself doing some of this. And the funny part is my mom never came in the room going, ¿Qué estás haciendo? ¿Qué es esa cosa rara? What are you doing? What is that? That's weird. Mother, she never, now that I think, it was just weird. They never came in. I was watching in the front room, and she'd be up there making tortillas, and I could hear her, doing the tortilla things and making the food. And here I was watching a meditation program, and I was going to Catholic school. They could have said, don't watch that. That's another religion. My mother and father weren't that way. Then after, one time I left it on. I think I left it on, and I started to do some homework, and I forgot to turn the TV, something like that. And this guy starts coming on and talking, this English guy, and he starts saying these wonderful things. I went, wow, who's this guy? And my name is Alan Watts. And it was Alan Watts that used to speak right after Yannicki. And so I started watching the Alan Watts show, and I started going out and buying, checking the books out of the library, the Art of Zen and all that things. And I was already questioning all these things long time before that, It wasn't just the 60s that brought it out, it was me. It came out of me, a desire to check the beyond.
How old were you?
Well, I started meditating when I was 11, so I was probably already watching this when I was 9 or 10. But definitely by 11, that's kind of like the age that's when I started playing music. So I must have, I know it was right around that time, because I had a real spiritual relationship with music. I still do.
Definitely.
Back then it wasn't, I'm cool now if people, oh, Martin, you're so spiritual. And I'm like, been that way forever. I mean, it's like saying you're so one part of yourself. I go, no, there's like several parts. There's mental, there's physical, and there's spiritual, and whatever else that I might have left out. I'm not just one thing. And but it's so funny because we're so lacking in spirituality that when you see or hear something I might say or the way I play music, you go, wow, this guy's like, he's from somewhere else. No, I'm a Mexican kid from South Central on 81st Street, who watched the riots, and my brother would pick me up and show me the buildings burning, and that's where I came from, and but somehow I questioned reality, questioned the here and now and what was existing and the doctrines of the day. And I found out as time goes on, as most of you out there all know, is that a whole lot of people started doing that when they started, it took them on their path when they started questioning. It was really interesting when I read about the ancient Mexica, or the mistakenly called the Aztecs, that the people that they would choose to become priests or like shamans, or for lack of a better word, getting tired of that word, but that is that they would pick kids usually, that were what would they say? Kids that were concerned with what was above and what was below. In other words, questioning the universe. And those are the perfect ones to bring in and show them what to do. Crazy, huh? Yeah, so
Makes
that's what
sense.
got me into that. All that those two shows, that thing with Alan Watts, and when I was playing music, and at the same time I'm 11, right? So I'm being told, close the garage door, take the trash out, pick up the dog, take him in the yard, lock the gate, and then and I wouldn't do something, and my dad might say, "Martin, you're supposed to do that." Oh, I forgot. How can you forget? Okay, Dad, I'll do it, and I do it, right? And then you start learning that chores are. Oh, I gotta wash the dishes. Oh God, I gotta lock the gate. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. I gotta hang up the phone. And Alan Watts took things like chores. When you have chores, make them into a music. And at that time, I'm learning music, so I thought, wow, music pleases me so much.
Wow,
If I
that's cool.
if I turn everything, yeah, he said it at the right place at the right time when I'm learning. So I turned everything into a music. You know, all my schoolwork, and that right about that time, um, a little while, let's see, a little while later, that stuff sunk in, and I started applying it to my schoolwork, and I was doing like F and D, and all of a sudden, I graduated with a B plus. I applied myself because of all those things. When I went to
Wow.
college,
Wow,
yeah,
that's very instructive.
when I went to college and I played classical guitar, I'd sit in my room going, ding, ding, to make sure that when I struck the string with my index, that when I struck it with my middle, it would sound the same. So that when I played fast, instead of dun 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 dun, like hard, hard soft, hard soft, hard soft, hard soft. I really worked on my ears, and I basically meditated for 6 hours, just playing the note and then speeding it up until I got speed like that. And I learned a lot that helped me get through everything. That's what get me to me. That's what got me through graduating with honors. You know, yeah. And so there's my long answer.